Have you ever wondered why some people seem to have it all while others crave more? Immerse yourself in a story that teaches us that true abundance lies not in taking, but in giving. This tale will forever change your perspective on happiness and success. In a picturesque village surrounded by rolling hills and golden fields, there once lived a young man named Lukas. He was hard-working and kind, but deep within his heart gnawed an unquenched dissatisfaction. He constantly compared himself to others, felt overlooked, and often asked himself, "Why not me?" This constant comparison nurtured a creeping envy within him. When someone was praised, he felt a pang. When others were lucky, he wondered why fate hadn't been as kind to him. One scorching summer day, as Lukas returned home exhausted from working in the fields, he spotted an old man by the roadside. The old man lay motionless, his hat beside him, his gaze fixed blankly on the sky. Lukas hesitated for a moment, his heart wavering between indifference and compassion. But then his humanity prevailed. He gently picked up the old man, handed him water from his own bottle, and led him into the cool shade of a majestic oak tree, a small gesture that would change his life forever. The old man slowly opened his eyes and gave Lukas a warm, grateful smile. "You helped me without expecting anything in return," he said in a calm, wise voice. "In return, I would like to give you a special gift." He pulled a small, artfully crafted hourglass from his pocket. It was made of clear glass, filled with fine golden sand that shimmered magically in the sunlight. Lukas was fascinated by its beauty and the mystery surrounding it. "This hourglass is inextricably linked to your destiny," the old man declared solemnly. "Each time you turn it, you may make a wish. But remember, what you wish for will come true twice in the life of your neighbor." Lukas frowned in confusion. "So, if I wish for something good, he gets double?" The old man nodded gently. "That's the law of the heart. What you grant grows. What you envy, you lose." Before Lukas could reply, the man had disappeared as if the wind had carried him away. That night, Lukas lay awake for a long time, the hourglass glittering mysteriously in the moonlight. Finally, he turned it over and whispered, full of hope, "I wish for a large, magnificent house." He dreamed of a life of prosperity and recognition. The next morning, he could hardly believe his eyes. His old, modest hut was gone. In its place stood a beautiful, bright house with high windows, a cozy fireplace, and an inviting wooden gate. A sense of pride flooded through him, but when his gaze wandered to his neighbor's property, his breath caught in his throat. There stood a house twice his size, made of pale stone, with ornate columns and a magnificent garden full of fragrant flowers. A clear fountain glittered in the sunlight. Lukas's joy instantly turned to bitter disappointment. "Why does he get more even though I helped?" he muttered angrily. The following night, Luke whispered into the hourglass again, "I wish for gold, lots of gold." The next day, he found a heavy box full of shiny coins in front of his door. He laughed triumphantly, but his laughter died down when he heard that 2 boxes had arrived at the neighbor's house. From that moment on, Lukas couldn't think of anything else. Day and night, he compared, calculated, and wished for more and more. Envy ate deep into his soul and poisoned every moment of joy. He was trapped in a vicious cycle of comparison and desire. One evening, consumed by envy and bitterness, Lukas made a terrible decision. In a cold, firm voice, he whispered into the hourglass, "Then I wish he would lose all his happiness." The hourglass began to glow ominously. The golden sand swirled wildly. A cold wind roared through his house, and then all was silent. The next morning, smoke rose from the neighboring property. The magnificent house was destroyed, the garden withered. But when Luke turned around, he saw with horror that his own house was also in ruins. The windows were shattered, the walls torn down. He fell to his knees and looked at the hourglass, but it was empty. No more golden sand, only a dusty void. Then he heard a soft voice in the wind speaking to his heart. What you wish for others falls first into your own heart, for life reflects what you give. These words struck Luke like a bolt of lightning. He finally understood the profound truth behind the law of the heart. His envy had plunged not only his neighbor, but himself into misfortune. The emptiness of the hourglass reflected the emptiness in his soul. From that fateful day on, Lukas changed fundamentally. He unconditionally helped his neighbor rebuild, sharing his last bread, his water, and his time. With every good deed, with every helping hand, he felt something change within him. A deep calm, a comforting warmth, and an inner peace filled his heart. One evening, as the sun gently set and bathed the sky in warm colors, he looked down at his table. There was the hourglass again. It was full, bright, and radiant. This time, Lukas knew he wouldn't turn it over for himself. He had learned that true abundance lies in giving, and that the greatest happiness lies in wishing well for others. This story is more than just a tale. It's a mirror for our own lives. It shows us the destructive power of envy and the infinite abundance that comes from generosity. What would you wish for if you held the hourglass of destiny in your hands? I invite you to share this message of hope and giving with your friends and family. Let's create a world together where we give each other twice as much. Subscribe to our channel for more inspiring stories.